Coming up on this episode of the Hitstreak.
And that's why I think that network we talked about, knowing who you are, is important, because they don't check just the product, they check you too.
Right.
And to save 20 million, I can't even put that into words on this economy, what that does for a company.
Here is how Dr. Aaron Pryor changed my life. I used to hide my smile, covering my mouth in photos, holding back in conversations, even avoiding big moments. I didn't realize how much it was holding me back until I got my brand new veneers at Pryor Family Dentistry. It's not just my teeth. It's my confidence, my energy, my entire life. Visit PryorFamilyDentistry.com to book a consultation. Your life-changing smile awaits. Whoa. Check this out. Some of the world's biggest success stories started with nothing. Just grit, hustle, and a story worth hearing. If you've got a story that people need to hear, this is your shot. If you've been through the fire and came out stronger, you belong on this show. Email management@nickhyder.com or comment or DM the word Hitstreak to apply. The Hitstreak is where rags to riches stories have been told, and the next one could be yours. Blessings, folks. Welcome back to another episode of the Hitstreak. I'm your man, Nick Hyder. And folks, if you're watching with us today, it looks a little different. We've done a handful of episodes on location, out of the studio, off-site. We're actually on location in studio today. We're in the HitLab 2.0. The 3.0 is right around the corner, but the 2.0 is fantastic, and that's where we're at today. Our brand new set. Big shout out to all the folks at HitLab Creative and the man Antoine Robinson. I got to give him a shout out for bringing all this to life for me. He's over here off camera. I love you, baby. I love you. All right, folks. I got a big, an extra special treat joining me in the lab today. So check it out. He is the founder of SG Tax Pros, the Sentarus Group, TSG Financial Services, and the CCAC Group Incorporated, folks. Give it up. Welcome, Pete Bacote. Pete, thanks for joining me today, man.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you having me here. It's kind of nice to see your new studio and getting everything kind of plugged in. It's good. And plus I enjoy that we're going to get a chance to work together in the future. So for me, that's pretty big. I think I love your energy. I think what we bring to the table can help too.
Well, dude, we got a lot to talk about today, yeah. And you are the first guest in the brand new set, man.
Listen, there's nothing like being the first.
That's right. And so obviously we're very strategic in what we do here. So we had to bring a heavy hitter in for the first one. That. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that.
All right, man. Well, check this out. So as you mentioned, we're doing a lot of great work together, which we're really, really excited about. All right. But do me a favor, man. So first of all, folks, check them out online at the sgtaxpros.com and on Instagram at sg_taxpros. Pete, like I've got right here, the formula that you use helps save clients $10,000 up from anywhere from $10,000 to $200,000 a year.
Correct.
All right. Well, that sounds kind of magical.
It is.
All right. Well, all right. So what's the secret? Because then we got to get into all the things that I know all the companies that you have worked together, right? So tell me a little bit of background about how you save clients $10,000 to $200,000 a year.
It's kind of simple, but for our eye, it's different, right? Because it's savings and planning. First of all, it's how do you plan for your expenses that you know about and the ones you don't know about? What is your goal? Retirement planning or anything of that nature, which you see oftentimes small businesses kind of fly by the seat of their pants. They fly by the skill set and not the planning move. So on our side, which is the Sentarus Group more so, we do a lot of planning, and SG Tax, we do a lot of planning about what do you have coming up? What's next for you? On the other side, we're great at helping for the IRS because a lot of people aren't even set up properly.
Okay.
So when you're not set up properly, you're going to pay more tax just because of how you're set up. I think small businesses, more so, and medium businesses are, before they take that next step, they don't appreciate professionals. They think the cost isn't really worth it, but you'll see in the long run, I save clients so much money because 2 or 3 pieces of advice could change their whole format, their whole structure, and how they do business.
So I'm guilty of everything you just said. You're exactly right. When we were first starting out and we were small, like a lot of businesses, at least mine did, it started out as it was my job. I was the boss. I was the salesperson. I did customer service rep, everything until we grew. And what you're saying basically is like, it's almost like you rush to build the home, but you don't make sure that the earth underneath that foundation is solid, rock solid, you know.
Even better, we use the example, if you're a great cook and you've been cooking for years and you know how to saute and you know how to serve all kinds of meals, and you said, I should do this on my own. I should cook on my own. You didn't learn about insurance. You didn't learn about workman's comp. You didn't learn about location. You learned about hours. So you knew the front end of the store. You had no idea about the back end of the store.
Yep.
So when the back end happens, that's when we kind of come in, because that fumble could cost you money or it could cost you your whole business. So we try to make sure that that fumble doesn't happen, or we know the pitfalls and can kind of tell you, don't step that way, step around this way and that way. You can have more money for yourself and or grow faster than learning the hard way, which is failure.
Man, like, you know, in the beginning, in the old days, let's call it.
Okay.
It's one of those things where you're so focused on, we have a saying around here, that's a short-term problem or a short-term solution for a long-term problem.
Correct.
And most of the people that are most impactful in my life today, I didn't know that I needed them back then.
Sure.
And if I had of, how differently would the landscape look?
Correct.
You know, so and it's hard when you're stretched thin. You're barely making the monthly budget or whatever. It's like a lot of businesses are. I think probably one of the biggest aha moments that I had was when we started getting into, we started building a field force for a payment processing company. So I started learning a lot about that industry, obviously, to help train the people and build a field force. And I learned real quick that all of the banks that I was using to process my payments were not the right banks. I didn't realize that there were banks that were specifically structured and
for other people.
Yeah, and geared for businesses just like mine. And we were using, you know, so it was like we didn't have the best. We were overpaying by a lot.
But I think you touched on a topic, right? Because when you start your venture, your budget is very limited, right? So if you save money, you have investors, you still have to use it wisely. What I kind of give them is like, whatever you're good at, whatever you do that. What you're not good at all, have somebody else do that for you, right? Because the thing is, I'll save money, I'll do my own this, I'll do my own books, or I'll do my own. Then they're terrible.
Yeah.
And then when I come in, I look and go, that's not going to work. We have to redo everything. And then now you're paying more.
Yeah.
And you lost your time, which that's the currency. Time is the currency you can't replace. Right? So therefore, now you really have to find out, I'm not good at my accounting. I'm not good at my legal or contracts. Yeah. Let me pay somebody a one-time fee to write this up properly. Yeah. And I'm protected, as opposed to, well, I'll go in ChatGPT and I'll figure it out right and I'll get it done. And it missed 5 loopholes, which now cost you $10,000, $20,000, $30,000.
That's exactly right, man. And again, I looked at these things as an expense versus an investment.
Correct.
And it's crazy when whichever word you use, it's a totally different experience. You know,
it definitely is. I think that more people need to understand that, right? Yeah. I don't think enough of us set goals, right? What's your 1-year goal, 6-month goal, 2-year goal, 5-year goal? If you understand that, you'll get to your destination. You're going to have bumps, right? Yeah. Everyone has bumps, but you'll know where your focus is instead of, oh, there's a problem here. Like you said, a short-term problem, you turn left instead of going straight, right? And then next thing you know, you're 10 miles off track. That's where the problems really occur. When I deal with people and I sit down with them, explain to them what has to happen. And you know, you'll see the light bulb go off. You're like, oh, I didn't think about that. Well, you wouldn't think about that because that's not what you do.
That's right.
So yeah, I think a lot of times it has to be you sit first, because I always get, here's what I did. What do you think I should have done? I said, well, now I can just put a Band-Aid on it. Yeah. I can't fix you. I can only cover up with a little dirt, and hopefully that'll be enough for this year. Yeah. But moving forward, we should change 3/4 of the things you have set up.
I always tell when we're doing consulting work, if we're working with a company that's newer and small, I always tell them, for me, in my own experience was, do everything 1 to 3 times and then unload it. Because that way, if I wanted to do it enough to know, to respect the people that I hired, right? And to understand their skill set. Yep. And it also helped me hire the right people, because that's
huge. Yeah. Wrong hire will set you back a long way.
That's exactly right. All right. So check this out. So let me get out my notes here. All right. So SG Tax Pros, the Sentarus Group, TSG Financial Services, and the CCAC Group. Yep. All right. So and you're the founder of all those.
Correct.
My man. Let's go.
No sleep.
Let's go.
No sleep.
All right. So talk to me about, I met you through SG Tax Pros, correct, right? And that's one of the things that we're doing together, which we're going to get into. I'm really excited to get into that. But all right, so talk to me about all 4, the purpose of each one, and how they all kind of work together.
So my very first company was called Bacote and Associates, my name.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that when you name your company after your name, no one wants to work with the associates.
Got it.
They just want you. I want Bacote. I don't want the associates.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they haven't met you, I got referred to Bacote, so I only want Bacote.
Yep.
So I closed that down. I realized that I'll never name a company after my name ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I couldn't even sell it. Who wants to buy my company name without growing it? So at the end of the day,
That's a good point.
the Sentarus Group was the first company.
Okay.
And we got started with that. And as we did taxes and accounting, it was small. We did okay. But as we grew, more and more services grew out of that.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, more liabilities grew out of that. So why am I going to mix my taxes with my accounting?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we separate the two? So SG Tax Pros was born from that. So then we got into I've been a licensed insurance broker since 2014.
Wow. Okay.
So it's like, okay, well, if we're going to do insurance, we got to separate that too. We can't do that under Sentarus Group tree. We can't do that under SG Tax Pros.
All right. So I've had my insurance license since 2013.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I won't call her mean, but she was not pleasant. That I had at the testing center
Mm-hmm.
that I had to go. I had to go there so many times, Pete, because I failed it so many times that old lady still sends me a Christmas card.
Your family.
That's right. I'd walk in there and they would, it got so bad. Usually when you fail, they're like, there's no love lost. It's like, here you go. Man, like
See you next week.
Man, that old lady, she had her head down like this. Like she felt so bad for me because I failed so many times, but I finally did pass.
It's understandable because like you have to have a knack for that kind of thing. Insurance is, they have their specifics, but they also have their breakdown things that make sense. Like you can't do this, you can't do that. So I took the test once. I didn't use it as much my first time. I let it go. I let it lapse. I didn't use it.
Okay.
Then I got it back in 2016, 17.
Oh, God.
So I took it again. I passed it again. And I said, guys, if we're going to do that, because I think a lot of communities, especially middle class, are underserved insurance-wise.
Okay.
You want to know how your child doesn't have the same kind of debt that you have is you leave them a policy. Mm-hmm. So instead of having debt, they have money. They have planned money for college. They can buy a house, which is tied to wealth.
Yeah.
So we said, okay, we're going to separate that as well. So we separate that. So we help clients who, part of our planning, we can't plan for you in taxes and not deal with your debt possibly in the future. We can't deal with your business and not deal with your tax structure as well. So we separate them all out because now each company has a different business line. So Sentarus Group helps people with trust and we can understand it. We help people with accounting and CFO services. We help people in so many different ways as far as consulting coming in. Look at my business. We do internal audits. So when somebody says, where are my holes? We'll come in and say, okay, well, you have a weakness here. You have a weakness here. There's no structure here. There's no plan here. I even got sent to South Africa in 2006 by the government.
Never been there.
That was my first time. Okay. And someone forgot to tell me that December was really their June. So I went in June in short sleeve shirts.
Oh no!
I was like, I got to buy a coat.
Yeah,
it was freezing. But we went to go investigate the South African Economic Development Fund, and what that was is Clinton guaranteed them $130 million over 10 years, but they had to follow our rules. So we had to go audit them to make sure they were following the guidelines of U.S. tax and U.S. government GAAP instructions. So
were they?
They were. Good. They were, but no one wanted the job. No one wanted the job. But I mean, it's just that those are the kind of things that we can go do for companies to kind of show you where your weaknesses lie and how we can help you fix it or how you can tighten up those weaknesses. So as SG Tax Pros, one of the biggest things we're really pushing now is our tax resolution program. You'd be surprised how many people have bills for IRS. And then we come back the next year. Oh yeah, I got this bill. I just sat on it until I saw you again. And you're like, well, now you paid X amount of interest and penalty because that's the worst payment plan ever. There's 7% on top of like 5%. So it's like 12 to 14% daily accruing. So we get ahead of those and people think because they got a bill, they have to pay it. That's not the case. So the IRS, you get a bill is based on, can you afford it? It's based on what's going on in your life right now. People, if you lose your business and you lose your income, why do you have to pay the bill that was for the bill and the income before? But they don't know that. Again, this is more about what you don't know. So our job is really to provide education. I give speaking engagements to schools all the time. I actually was a judge in, what's that group for high school? They have a high school, every year they tell you business school, kids that want to do business. So they have contests and scenarios. So I got to judge this year and help these kids. Like they're giving me the answers. I'm like, you didn't read your homework at all.
Oh no.
Not at all. But it's good to know that people are thinking that way.
Yeah. Hi, folks. I'm your man, Nick Hyder, and I just want to say a quick thank you for all of you, the millions of you tuning into the Hitstreak. We're literally getting the information from the people that have it to the people that need it by bringing on guests that everybody knows and some that not everybody knows yet. Keep listening, keep sharing, and keep leveling up with the Hit Streak. One of the things that I think I was most impressed with when we first started working together, and big shout out to, we call him Uncle David at my house, but David Waltney.
Yeah.
I met your brother Damon.
Yes.
Probably 15 years ago.
Okay.
Left the mark, so a good mark. So that way, when he told me about you, I was like, well, what are we doing with him?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You gotta get the whole family in here. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, but upon learning more about what you did, I was so impressed with, it's almost lost on us regular folks when the president signs a law, an executive order, anything else, the ripple effect on all the changes and how that affects so many things downstream, whether that's especially as a business owner, right? So as a business owner, I was so impressed with how quick, like I, as a person that has had controllers and tax people within the company, anytime we ever had to let somebody go or make a change, it was because like they were stuck in yesterday's rules and today was a new set.
Yes,
man, dude, you guys are on it. I feel like the IRS is leaning on y'all to tell them what to do next. Almost.
We have a lot of conversations with the IRS for my clients, but honestly, you're 100% correct. What happens is year after year, especially per president, you have when they change administration, they can tell to make their splashes taxes. What's going to change? We got a lot of big changes coming up. We had a lot of come in 2018 when Trump first came into office. So a lot of people are like, what can I do? I try to explain to people years ago that if you really want to take advantage of the tax laws weren't built for a W-2 employee because they take your tax. Did you pay enough or did you not? We changed in 2018 where you used to be able to write off working from home.
Yeah.
And you can't anymore after 2018. But then COVID came 2 years later. So imagine if that law was still enacted.
Yeah.
You could have taken full advantage. But we have to read up. There's a publication called Pub 26. It is good nighttime reading. Let me see.
Okay.
It'll knock you out quick.
Okay.
But Pub 26 kind of tells us what the rules are, why the rules are, and what's the nature and intent of those rules. So every year, around Christmas time, where everybody else is opening gifts, we're reading through the publications, making sure we understand how to help our client. Now, everything doesn't apply to everyone.
Right.
But you do have people that things do apply for. And again, when you have your business, even if you're a single member LLC, it opens you up to so much more.
Right.
And people don't understand that. I think one of the things that you and I talked about before with people who have 1099 jobs, but they're not really full-time jobs, that is a free bonus.
That's right.
That is a free bonus for you to be able to write off your meals, your travel, your everything.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's right. See, that's how we do it here. That's right.
Absolutely. And people don't understand. They think, okay, I just need to put this on my personal tax. You can do so much with that. You can open up the world with that. And when I finally showed some people, they're like, I can write that off too? Yes. One of the examples I used to give someone is before a t-shirt you would buy, like a normal shirt, if you put your logo on your shirt, it's no longer a shirt. It's now advertising.
That's right.
So now you can write off that shirt.
That's right.
So there's so many rules like that allow you to have access to the full rule books of the tax laws.
Man, as we're filming this today, my episode with Chuck McDowell came out. Chuck McDowell is known by a lot of business folks. He's done extremely well, but he's the guy that has been going after the timeshare industry hard for a long time. And it's so funny because he was literally talking about that in the episode. He has a shirt that says "Timeshare sucks" on it, and so he's like, and I wrote off front seats at the Lakers because that was a work shirt. You know what I mean? It's when I was younger and I was getting W-2 jobs, when you were filing off the paperwork, you have to write a number down as to how you're going to claim what you claim, 0, 1 through 9, I think.
I get more calls about that.
Dude, I didn't know.
No one knows.
I was doing it wrong the whole time. Didn't even know. And now as a parent, I'm learning all these things that you can do for your kids to kind of get them a head start and set them up. What are the top 3 things as a kid that old Nick should be doing for his kids?
Old Nick or new Nick?
New Nick. We'll say new Nick.
Right. So new Nick should hire his kids. He should hire them. You can write your kids under the new laws. You get the first 15 or 16,000 free, right? So you can pay them up to 16,000 and not have to pay taxes on that. So we did that for my stepson, and when he went to private school, and instead of him getting paid, we put it in his bank account, but we paid his school fees from that. So now his school fees are literally paid by his salary, which is not as taxable. We pay it to him, writing it off, but allowing him to write his payments off because we're not writing school off. We're writing our employee cost off.
Right.
So that's a huge one. Your kids can work for you no matter what age. So a newborn can get payments, take pictures, use them in advertisements. You can use that newborn up to 15 or 16. Now, you can go higher than that. But then they have to pay 10% of their fees up to a certain point in 15, 20, 20, so on and so forth. So a lot of people transfer their income to their kids. Now, you can actually still get them, once you get them, pay them, you can give them now IRAs. So because you have to earn income to qualify for an IRA. So once you pay your kid, they can start for retirement planning. So anybody knows that time is like the eighth wonder of the world, right? If you have compounding interest, which those kids can have at a very young age, they can work to their 18, 19 and be millionaires. So, I mean, in essence, if you know how to use them, you can set them up properly.
You got to get the right people.
Got to get the right people.
You got to get the right people.
Have.
And if you think about it, I have 2 children. Well, think about over the course of 18 to 19 years.
My point exactly.
How that compounds and turns into a big old number.
Correct.
That's fascinating. All right. So so talk to me about, I've heard a lot of things about putting your kids on your personal credit cards. So assuming you pay your bills on time, you can
that's number one.
Yeah, we
did that with my daughters. So they had a 750 credit score as soon as they turned 18 because they were on our credit card. They didn't have a credit card.
I don't think I ever had a 750 credit score.
So what happened is when they were probably like 15, we added them to the credit card and took the credit card from them so they couldn't use it.
Right.
But they got credit for the payments being paid on time. So therefore, by the time they got to where they are 18, 19, they apply for a credit card, they had history of making payments, whether they made a payment or not. I think, like I said, all that has to be planned out and what you want to do, why they want to do it, because people hear tidbits and go, oh, yeah, I like that. But that might not work for you.
Yeah.
Right. That's why you have to talk to somebody so they can kind of break down your individual. My favorite during tax season has to be the woman with 3 kids who gets like $12,000 back. And then, well, my friend got $12,000. How come I'm not getting $12,000? I have 3 kids. Well, your friend made more than you, and she did certain things more than you. Everyone's situation does not look the same. They look different based on income, based on expenses, based on how you're set up, based on what's happening. So it's, even though you think one size fits all, you can go on TurboTax and do what you want. TurboTax is great if you have 1 dog, 1 apartment, 1 job, $25,000, $30,000. You're great. Go to TurboTax. I'm not going to beat that.
Yeah, the only thing I want to do turbo with my money is make it.
Correct.
After that, I want to take my time and
you should.
And
but even for the next year, for the future, you're not going to be in the same place you are this year, next year. So why don't you talk to somebody, even if you have to pay a little bit of money, because at that point, the value is, what don't I know? Right. I'm paying for what I don't know. And at that point, that's when, okay, well, I was thinking about opening up a hair salon. What would I have to do? What would be my startup cost? How much should I put? What should I mean, people don't, it's a process getting a place.
Yeah.
Depends on where you get it. You might have to give a security deposit. That's not 1 month like the rent. They might ask for a set number. There's no rules on commercial side. So you need somebody who represents you, who can talk to you through it. So someone can tell you just anything and you'll buy that. So
what would the average person expect? What would be a number that they should be expect to invest in? Let's say just a family of 4. Like it's very common in the United States of America. Have a family of 4, right?
Yep.
Husband wants a wife, a boy and a girl, maybe a dog.
2.5, right?
There you go. That's right. What would be? Well, first of all, financial literacy is something that was nothing. The people that raised me, incredible.
Same here.
But the financial literacy part was not something
it's taboo
that was talked a lot about.
It's taboo.
Yeah, it was. I won't say money was the villain, but
sure,
people with it. People out of had money was the villain, but why I'm saying that is a book that one of the books that changed my life was Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I love it. My son's read it a bunch of times. I read it every year.
Yeah.
It's just it's an easy read for me. And it started to teach me words like even in 2023, I learned the difference between, I started working with people that taught me the difference between tax credit versus tax deduction.
Correct.
And I realized tax deduction, I thought that was
they're good.
The magic word. But tax credit.
Like money, like cash.
That's right.
Absolutely.
It's almost better than cash.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah, if you know how to use it right. So what are your top 3 finance books, man, for folks that might want
So I do like that book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Is like you said, it's more layman's term.
Yes. It's stories.
It is, but I actually like books that kind of also tell you like 48 Powers of Law, books that tell you about how to move, because you can have money.
Yeah.
But if you don't know how to move, it's gonna affect you just as well.
Yeah.
My son and I, we talk about philosophy, taking him to school, we sit there and talk about how do you handle yourself. He's learned now that everything he sees is business. right? We'll walk by the store. I said, you see that house? Somebody built that to make money. They paid 100, sold it for 200. That's a business. See that laundromat? See that ice cream store? I like the supermarket. A lot of people don't know the supermarket. They think they just get money from selling items. No, they get huge money from where they place the items in the supermarket. You put it on the top shelf, you get a certain amount of money. Put it on the bottom shelf, you get less money. So they make their revenue streams are 5 and 6 fold on how the supermarket works. So if you don't understand that, how can you build your own? If you don't know about revenue streams and what you can come from, that's how our business broke up. Sentarus Group now has 4 different revenue streams. SG Tax Pros have 3 or 4 revenue streams because you have to understand where that money can come from. Because if you have one job, and the boss goes, hey, can I talk to you for a second? Things aren't working out like we thought we were. I got to let you go, man. What are you going to do now? Unemployment 6 months. So, but in a business, it's the same way. If you have 6 lines of business, a revenue, and somebody cuts one off, now you have 5.
That's right.
We're okay until we replace that one. So like realistically, that's why I said you got to kind of holistic side when you understand and you start business. It's not just, I'm going to start, I'm going to be rich.
Yeah.
If that's your goal, great. But I'm telling you, it's not that simple. There's no such thing as a straight line.
You know, and it's almost like some things have just kind of gotten legs. Some old sayings from when I was a kid have gotten some legs. And like, you know, I was always taught, you know, it's not about the money. It's about what you can do for other people. It's the impact you can make with other people, which I've discovered that's what, again, that's what you tell people that don't have money to make sure that they know they can still make an impact. Right. So, but it turns into literally I was leading a call with a few hundred people around the world yesterday, a Salesforce. And one of the most common things that said is like, you know, I'm not doing it for the money. And I'm like, but hold on a minute.
It's like true or not true.
Yeah, it is. But the money is the tool. That makes how much you can help possible. Even my Pastor Roger Patton told me that a long time ago. He said, Nick, everybody can give time, but not everybody can give money.
Correct.
So money is just a tool to scale whatever good that you want to do.
Money is a tool. We have to use it as such, right? And the thing about it is, I think when you learn relationship is currency, right? It is, because part of the reason why I'm able to do well is not just because I know that knowledge, because people choose who they want to work with, right? I'm not the only one that knows the knowledge. You can go elsewhere. But the relationships and knowing you can trust them and knowing they can handle certain situations, I think that holds true. We talked about my brother. Well, I have one brother who is with the criminal juvenile justice department in New York. I have another brother who coaches at Air Force, right?
How proud of your parents, by the way. Y'all, all 3 of y'all, unbelievable.
Listen, they got lucky. But I think it was steeped in a lot of philosophy, though. I think it was steeped in a lot of philosophy, holding people accountable, making sure that beyond anything else, we're good people. And I think we all found our thing. And it took us a minute. Some went one direction, but we all found our thing that made us who we were. And I think when you do that even though we say, I want to help people, that currency does come back. That knowing who you are and getting a chance to show who you are comes back. Because again, if I was stealing clients' money, if I was out here, and they were getting audited every year, they're not going to come back to me no matter how much money I have.
That's right.
So part of that is who you are and how you look at things and how you develop those relationships.
Are you ready to take your brand digital? At HitLab Creative, we don't just make content. We build your digital foundation from the ground up. So whether you're launching a podcast, creating scroll-stopping social media content, or building a website that actually converts, we connect all the dots. Visit hitlabstudio.com/studio-time and let's build something that lasts. Because the HitLab is where digital strategy meets data-driven content creation.
As I'm raising children, it's a lot. You become aware of a lot of things that you do in the past, and like just from I know Damon. I don't know your other brother. But both of you have a common trait that I see in a lot of great people that I look up to. One of I'll just use Coach Tim Corbin from the Vanderbilt Commodore baseball team. One of the nicest, most authentic, gentle people on the planet until it's time to play.
He's a competitor.
And then I don't know what he would do. I might not want to know to win, but off the field it's different. And you guys have that, like that was what drew me to you guys, is like you meet him, that's like the kindest, gentlest soul on earth until it's time to flip that switch.
You have to.
And then it's different.
I will tell you the sports, since we were 3 boys, parents grew up 3 boys and all we want to do is wrestle and fight. There had to be ways to channel your energy. Sports, if there's school and sports, then you go home and do your homework. There's not a lot of time for anything else, right? And my dad was he's a military guy, so he's very strict. But he understood that we had to be in channel our energies elsewhere. We all have our own thing. We all play basketball. My one brother played football. I ran track in college too. So, I mean, at the same time, we all had our own thing, but at the same time, you're right, the competitive nature and where we're from, like when we moved there, yeah, you want to win, but guys who aren't even on the team will come after you.
Yeah.
You're like, who is this guy?
Mm-hmm.
You have to learn how to compete, and life is competing, whether you look at it or not, whether it be taxes or whether it be baseball.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to let you win.
that's right.
Right. So when I have a case against the IRS, it's not me helping my clients, me versus the IRS. Like how can I get them to see it the way I see it?
Yeah.
And we've had success kind of structuring things the way we know that they can see it. Oh, we don't think that this was but if you look at it, if you really look at it and you go back to where they were the first time they did that, okay, I can see that.
That's right.
So you'll learn how to deal with people. You learn how to compete off the field. But yeah, when it's time to shut it down, you can flick the switch and have fun. I think our best times when we sit around and just laugh.
Absolutely.
Just have a good time.
So, it's no secret. As a redheaded guy, the camera don't really like the color, the complexion of my skin. So I go once a week, I go get a little spray. It changes everything, right? So, and literally last night at the, I'm at the check-in counter at Tannabed. There's this beautiful, sweet young lady there that's working. She was beaming, and she had shared the news that she had just gotten accepted into University of Tennessee as a pre-med in a pre-med program. And I was like, man, congratulations. And I told her, I said, look, I've interviewed 1,500 college graduates in the last 5 years. Out of those 1,500, probably 1,496 of them, I asked them what their degree was in, and then I asked them, how do you make money doing that? And they could not answer that question.
Correct.
And they always default to, well, it's not about the money. And I'm like, but all right, so
loan.
Well, all right. So one of my things that I love saying from when I'm talking to groups of people on stage is growing up, we had a report card that decided how great of a student we were. That was the way we measured how we did with academics. I'm like, all right, well, cool. Well, so if your bank account's your new report card, what kind of grades you making? You know what I mean? That's usually when I get people's attention with that.
Correct.
And my buddy Brad always says, if you give a good person money, they'll do great things with it and become a better person.
Sure.
If you give a bad person money, they'll do worse things and become so it just amplifies kind of who you are, right? So, and the other thing, people don't like it when we say this either, but the people that, most of the folks that tell me how unimportant money is, they've never had it.
Correct.
It's hard to have an opinion on something like that.
Your definition of money changes as you make more.
There it is.
It definitely does. I remember years ago, a gentleman came over from my house, 4th of July, and he was saying $1 million is no money.
That's right.
I was like, who is this guy? $1 million is no money. Well, give me no money. I'll be okay.
That's right.
But as you start looking and you're looking at your monthly expenses and you're spending how much money, you're like, $1 million really is no money.
That's right.
And again, I'm not diminishing what $1 million could do for somebody. I'm saying gross million versus net million. And those who don't know, that's a big difference.
Big difference.
Right? It's not about what you make, it's what you can keep.
That's right.
And so we talk about all the time. If a guy who makes $5 million spends 5.2 million, the guy who makes 150,000 spends 100,000. The guy who's doing 100,000 is doing better, right? And it doesn't sound like it, but if I'm constantly in the negative, I'm not doing well. So at the end of the day, you're right. Your views on money, your views on how you handle money will change, and we kind of get back and help.
Yeah.
What is your goal? Like we work backwards in essence. Like I have a client now who last year made 5 million, and I told him you should be making 10.
Let's go.
And he goes, what do you mean? I said, well, you're not doing this service, you're not doing this service, you're not doing this service. If we work backwards, all we have to do is add 400,000 a month more to your bottom line. But you can add 400 at these 3 services. And he's like, okay. So he's in the process now of doing that, and he'll double his revenue just because now his thinking is different. It's not about, I want to make 10 million. It's what do I have to do to make 10 million? What can I offer to sell that and get to 10 million? So, you have to sometimes change your thinking when you have your own business because you're your boss. Who's telling you what time to come in? Who's telling you what to work? Who's telling you you're wrong? Because your employees never say, hey, boss, you're wrong, because they don't want to get fired.
That's right.
Unless you have great employees who will question you and challenge you. I think my staff really challenges me. And sometimes I'm like, I thought we talked about this already.
Yeah.
Right. But their job is to keep me on my toes.
Yeah.
And I'm expanding their role as we speak. For our 2026 plan, they're going to take more ownership of things that happen in the business. Well, I'll step back and do more business development. So that's really, really key.
Talk to me about all the companies, the businesses, the brands that you guys are helping through 4 entities, right? So walk me through kind of like who it is that you guys serve.
I'll start with the newest.
And I can tell you, he's serving us, and it's pretty good. It's a pretty good experience so far.
So I'm gonna start with the newest one is CCAC.
Okay.
CCAC is a cannabis accounting company.
Okay.
You're always trying to
Did you
stay
bring
on
samples?
Yeah. So people think that, right? We can't smoke and keep the ledger at the same time, right?
That's right.
But a lot of times what happens with cannabis, they have such a different set of rules. And it's the number one growing largest company as far as corporations will kind in the country.
Yeah.
Right. They're fastest. When Colorado did it years ago, they were like, Colorado. So they made $52 million in sales tax.
Yeah.
And it got people's attention. So it's growing ever so quickly. Jersey now, everywhere you turn, there's a cannabis store.
That's right.
Right. So we're looking at how we stay ahead of things. Just like you should do yourself and businesses, we do the same thing. We self-internalize, say, what can we capitalize? What aren't we doing enough of? So that group is going to be strictly cannabis, totally separate. They're going to handle cannabis companies. People don't understand the differences. Like, it's just a business, but it's not.
Right.
A lot of banks don't deal in cannabis because it's still federally not accepted.
Yeah.
It's still considered a class 1 drug, which means it's similar to heroin.
It's like high risk, in their eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're talking about getting into a class 3, which is over the counter, but it's not there yet. So right now, you can make $7 million, but you might have to pay $4 million in taxes.
Ooh.
Because you can't write off anything you haven't used yet. The seeds you bought, you can't count those until you grow them until they're sold.
Wow.
So there's a whole different set of rules and regulations, but they're audited 96% of the time because it's cash.
Yeah.
Right. So therefore, you have to have a specialized group of people who can actually help you with that.
Right.
So we're spreading our wings, and we're starting the East Coast and kind of sweeping over till we get to California on how we can help companies maintain, manage, deal with the IRS, deal with all the issues that they have, and even rules that they don't know they should be following, right? Because if you don't know, again, that can cost you a lot. In that group, in that area, that can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Talk to me about some of the other companies that you guys serve, and more importantly, ones that maybe you want to serve more of.
Sure. So the good thing about the accounting companies, we're not limited to what kind of accounting. That's why CCAC started to be specific niche. The accounting group, the Sentarus group, is really about growing you from a medium business to a larger business. Some people are scared. I don't know how to say it any other way, but they're afraid to grow larger, more money, more problems type of situation. We kind of help them with that fear and navigate that. And I don't know if you noticed the theme behind all my business, but they're there to help people. Yeah. Right. So whether it be insurance, we're going to help you. Accounting, we're going to help you. The cannabis, we're going to help you. We want to make sure we help. Even the stuff we're working together, it's about helping people, right? Everybody wins.
Oh yeah.
When everybody wins, that's when we're happy. So we kind of want our people to understand that you're only limited by yourself. Right? You're only limited to your thoughts. If you've never seen 2 states, we have people that haven't left the states in their own state in Philadelphia. So if you never left Philadelphia, that city. If you never left that city, what does Brooklyn look like? What does Richmond look like? Right. So we're trying to expand horizons, and by doing that, just having those conversations, you can expand those horizons. So for us, all of our companies are about that. Like when you come in, oh yeah, I want to do this. And I listen first. So I'm hearing, oh great, that sounds good. What about this? What about 5 stores instead of 1 store? Well, I'm just trying to get to 1 store. I think the weirdest question I get when you come to me and tell me that you want to start a business and you want to set up your business and you came to me for the right incorporation, and I go, what's your exit strategy? Wow. And they go, I'm here to start a business. You're talking about but if you don't know your exit strategy, how are you going to run your business? Is it to grow it and sell it? Is it to grow it and leave it for your kids? So realistically, that's my first question is, what is your exit strategy? How do you want to get out of this business? People don't understand that. There's more emotion involved than it is actually thought process and technique.
Dude, that's so, as a consultant for marketing, digital marketing and all those things, that's the first question I ask when I first work with the client is, how does this story end? They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, we're either going to sell it, go out of business, or die doing it. Correct. All right. So how does this story end? Because we're painting that, we're telling that story, we're writing that story as we go. So, and your GPS only works if you type in the end destination. Correct.
I mean, you'll have business owners that are working their business late in life because they'd never had a strategy to sell to their kids, pass it on, or just selling cash out. I mean, if you start a business that costs you $5,000 to start, and you can sell it for $5 million. Why wouldn't you? You can take that and you can invest that and compound that and retire comfortably. If you had no plan for that, how much did you put away for that? Right. So at the end of the day, you have to kind of have a strategy. We know we have a strategy at our own place. Like we know we're going to keep this business, get rid of this one, grow this one, keep that one. So at the end of the day, what do you want to do? What's the game plan? So all of our businesses tie into where we're helping, but we're also giving them purpose. Right? And that's big. Their drive, their why, they have that. I can't give you your why, but I can give you and open your eye about your size. I can open your eyes about how you're going to pass it on. You're going to just give it to them. You're going to let them, make them a part of the company. So when you pass away, they just automatically get the rest of the ownership. Like, how is that going to work?
Right.
And you'd be surprised at how many people go, I don't know. I'm not sure.
That's crazy.
And they go home like, you got my head. I'm really thinking about what I should do. And that's our goal. And then you got to come back and we got to finalize that.
Are you ready to transform your business and unlock new revenue streams? At Processing First, we empower our partners with cutting-edge payment solutions and unparalleled support. By leveraging our extensive network of banking partners, we match you with the ideal bank to ensure that you receive the most competitive rates and deliver an exceptional experience for both you and your customers. Visit processingfirst.com to learn more and join our growing community of successful partners.
Tell me a little bit about. I'm really excited about what we're doing together. Like, I always have a document that's got all the current projects that we're working on, and this one, aside from all the stuff that Antoine and I've been doing with all the studio things, this has been right up there at the top for a minute.
Sure.
And I gotta say, a big compliment to you guys, because when we had our first calls with the first clients, I was blown away and impressed when I was listening back at them. At one, it was no doubt that your clients, basically, if you told them to walk on water, they'd figure out a way to do it.
They know I'm not going to let them drown.
They're going to do that. So let's tell the folks a little bit about what it is that we're doing together and what gets you excited about it.
So one of the things that we're doing together, we're helping clients and employees grow. In this economy, you got to find out where your savings can be at. If anyone has any idea of when you have a business and you have more than 50 employees, you have to provide insurance, right? The renewals for this year versus last year are up like 150%, if not more. So people are trying to figure out how do I offset that?
Why is that? Why are they up? What causes that?
A lot of things right now. We have the ACA. They're trying to figure out how to get rid of that portion. They're talking about giving to the employees directly. And
I like that.
It's good if you trust that they're going to use it to pay their insurance.
Yeah.
Because what if I get the money and the rent's due?
Yeah.
My insurance, well, Judy won't get sick this month. So I'll use the money for that and I'll just pay the rent because I know we got to live this month.
Yeah.
And now you're behind on your insurance. So there's pluses and minuses to it. I think more people should manage their own funds. But I think most people can't manage their own funds. So I do see the pluses and minuses to it, because realistically, we know the insurance companies didn't get into the insurance game for the sake of the people.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of experience in that space, and we didn't do a lot. We advised on the ACA a lot, but I mean, it's pretty much, there's not a lot you can do other than just point them in the right direction, turn them loose.
Correct.
Tell them what to look for.
Correct. Most people don't know. If you even showed them their options, 4 different options, they still wouldn't know which option is best for them. Yeah,
it's the decision-making process when it comes to health insurance is just, I guess, well, it was like we were told between 12:59 p.m. on December 31st, 2013, and 12 a.m. on January 1st, 2014. There was 50 years worth of change that happened in the stroke of that one minute. And it caused, because I remember when I was a kid, when I was driving, my mom would send me to the doctor and she'd hand me an insurance card and a 20.
Yeah, that's
and
what
she said, just put both those on the desk and you're good.
You had to worry about.
That was it. And and you do got to know a lot more, which that's not a bad, knowledge is never a bad thing.
Nope.
For whatever reason, it's almost like I call it the difference between a hand up and a hand out.
Sure.
And we were given a hand out for far too long, and it's caused us now we don't want the hand up.
Correct. But they don't know what it looks like.
Yeah.
Right? What does that look like? And it's just a plus or minus thing. If like even now with ACA, how it looks now, there's some plans, if you don't know, you're basically self-insuring yourself. Unless it's something major. So you'll pay the first $4,000. Well, the first $4,000, most of us, that's a year.
Yeah, and that's after network reductions and all the everything else. Correct. So like that was what blew me away the most is like, to hit a $10,000 deductible, it might take $50,000 worth of bills before you do that.
Correct.
And that's what people don't
Correct. So that part is hard. I mean, my first W-2, my second W-2 job when I was in school at Temple, I worked for the hospital, Temple Hospital. It was great. I mean, you got to see the other side. You got to see why a Tylenol costs $20, right? And really, it costs $20 because they're accounting for those who can't pay for that, and they have to stabilize them. Yeah. So you're gonna pay for the guy who didn't have insurance, and you're gonna pay for his insurance, and you're gonna cover that bill. We're gonna wrap it all up into one bill. It's a complex problem. I don't know if one solution is a one size fit all solution. I think they're gonna have to figure out. There's gonna have to be tiers. I mean, eventually, there's gonna have to be tiers to it because. I do like the fact because if you give this to an insurance company, they're making so much money off of that. Give it back to the individual, will they use it properly? So you almost can't win in a certain sense.
Yeah, it's an auditing problem at the end of the day. It's an auditing problem.
We don't do auditing.
No, and that's what it is. It's like I remember when there used to be penalties for not having an ACA plan.
Yeah.
And like one day it was like, all right, well. The last time I checked, the IRS was real busy. When did they get a chance? Now, who's auditing 300 million Americans?
No one
on their health insurance. And it was almost like you either volunteered it, which they would ask. There was back then there used to be a really official letter that you got in the mail that wasn't official at all.
Correct.
They sure looked that way. So, and they would ask you, do you have a compliant plan or not? And
so that changed. So even with the change in that, the first couple of years of ACA, there was no proof whether you had insurance or not.
Yeah.
Now I'm sure everybody knows you get the 1095Cs, you get the 1095Bs, or you get the 1095As.
Yeah. So the exceptions to the rules too.
Right.
Yeah.
There are exceptions. You can have a 2-month gap. You can have this. So there's so much different things that are going on based on that.
Yeah.
And if you don't know it or you don't understand it, then you're going to be the one who suffers. So I agree with you. I think knowledge gives you the ability to have a step up. Right?
Absolutely.
But going back to what you said a while ago, you said your parents didn't talk finances. Mine didn't either.
Okay.
My dad's retirement plan was amazing. I didn't know until after he passed. Right.
Okay.
But he had a government plan. He had a nonprofit plan. He had a for-profit plan. He was richer in retirement than he was ever working. Right. He never said, "Let me sit down, son, and tell you, put your money here, put your money here." That never happened. And I think part of our protection of wanting to protect our children of having to deal with adult issues is we guard them from that. Whereas you should draw up a plan and share that with them.
Right.
Right. Hey, my goal is to get $5 million to retirement. I'm going to do it by this. In 20 years, I'm going to make $50,000 in savings, but I can't save that much. So it's going to grow. At this point, it's going to grow on its own interest. How does interest work, Dad? Well, what happens when I get here, 6% of compound, and I can make double the money in 7 to 8 years. And then I think they can understand that better. But if you just kind of fed them, housed them, made them go to school, and you put them out in the wild.
Yeah. Yeah. Bruce Lee said it beautifully when he was like, instead of giving your kids all the things you didn't have, give them the knowledge that you didn't get.
Correct.
And I think that's, you hear the stories about it's my life, Mom, Dad, let me make my own choices. Well, all right. So give them the knowledge to make good choices when they do so. It's like, as a parent, I want to make sure that my kids are financially stable. Well, giving them the money
doesn't guarantee that.
That's exactly right. But the knowledge gives them the choice and the education to do so, and then raise them to make the right choices.
One of the things that we talked about that the kids is bad choices, bad consequences, good choices, good consequences. Right. And most of us, when we didn't have anybody there to learn, we learn by failure. Right. Now, how deep your failure goes is really about how much you do or do not know. Right. So I believe that that's why I try to talk to kids, especially about finances, because parents get it by the mere fact that they're getting bills every month. They got an income come. I got to juggle my income and my bills. Right. But kids, they don't have any concept of that. What do they pay? They got a cell phone. They don't know how that gets paid every month. They just know that it works when they pick it up.
That's right.
So, and that's great. It's bliss.
Yeah.
But at a certain age, they transition from child into adulthood.
Yeah.
The conversation has to change. Right. I'm not saying have a 5-year-old conversation, talk about tax planning. He's like, okay, but can I have the green block? That's not what he wants. But I think your teenager at 16, 15, knowing they're 3 years away from going to college, knowing that the guy that says, I'm giving you a free water cooler if you sign up for this credit card, may not be the guy you want to sign up the credit card for. Right. So having that conversation, understanding that what long-term, what effect credit has, long-term effects you have as far as your income, earlier you can put money away, the better. I think you'll get them so much further. And like you said, that generation can have a help up to the next generation.
I have a 16-year-old son. He's driving a little bit now. We got him he's got a little green light account, the little green light card, and all that stuff. It was so funny because just this past Sunday after church, where he's up there, he's the drummer at church a lot of times, right? So he's 16, he's playing with all these adults. It's a great thing, but it's cool because you're watching him do something well above his age standard, right? But then he literally, after doing that, gets in his Jeep and he's going to go to one of the places that I like to get coffee. They have a great little protein shake. So he's going to go get him one. And we're driving home from church and I get the notification that his card's been declined, right? So my man had $4 in there and tried to spend 15, didn't even know. And then this is the funny part. So we get the notification, my wife just dumps $50 in there real quick. And I'm like, man, like,
wasn't that nice? That's not real life.
He don't know that happened. So like when he got home, I was like, hey man, so your card was declined. He goes, yeah, I ran it again and it worked the next time through. And that's the second time that happened. I'm like, I looked at her, I was like, see, he thinks it's magic.
It is magic.
Right. I was like, what you don't know is that your mom had to put $50 in. And he was like, what do you mean? I'm like, bro, there wasn't $15 in there. You have to check the balance. That's the whole point. That's why we're doing this with you, is to teach you, not to just, but it's
not carte blanche here.
Yeah, dude. It's it's raising kids. It's such a gift.
My oldest stepson, he now has an apartment. Now, mom and dad pay the rent, but he pays all the utilities. Right. And I can remember vividly while he's in his bedroom, it's time to eat dinner. TV's on, the game is on pause, lights are on. He goes downstairs.
Are you at my house? You were at my house.
We go to his apartment and we're not even out the room yet. Turn the lights off. I'm like, oh, did it get dark in here all of a sudden? What happened? He now is conscious of all those things he didn't care about before.
My dad tells the same story.
It's just how it is, and that's why I said it's good. It's good for education. That kids got to learn that this is not an unlimited tree. My dad was like, "The money tree's not in the back." You guys, I'm like, what does he mean by that? Of course, the money tree's back there. We get what we need. So I do think education plays a large part of how kids can kind of make that the 1 and 2 kind of click, because they don't, and they want to know. If you ask them, they'll actually learn. Like, the youngest stepson, he actually did something not too long ago where he had some money saved, and I was surprised at that. I was like, he's like, well, you told me that, make sure I have that. I'm like, oh, he listened. Now, it might not sound like he listened. The attitude might not be like he's listening, but they're actually listening. And we had kind of our job to get them ready for that next level of when mom and dad aren't here. So at some point, we're not going to be here. What are you going to do? Right. And how are you going to handle yourself? So yeah, your son will learn.
Oh yeah. One way or another, he's going to learn. My daughter probably not. She can do whatever she wants.
Oh, really?
But yeah, but him, yeah, he's got a long road ahead of him.
That's the way it works.
Getting back to the tax program that we're working on.
Yes.
It's got those 2 magical words of tax credits involved.
Well, this is tax savings, actually.
There you go.
Yeah. So what happens is, like, we're working with a company now that's looking to save probably $20 million a year.
Let's go.
Tax savings.
Come on. Y'all hear that? 20 mil.
They're going to say
20 million.
Yeah, they're going to say 20 million in tax savings. And first they're like, it's almost like your brain has been trained like it's too good to be true.
All right, that's where I'm going with it. So stay right there. Yeah. At the end of the day, we just want to know where the source of this comes from. And even the people that we've brought to you for this help, these are highly accredited institutions, everything else. And they still question it. Like, is it it's too good to be true?
It goes up the chain to another chain. Check this out. We're at the top of the chain, and like maybe 5 or 6 companies now have done their due diligence and know that we can't get hurt by this. And it's like, and that's why I think that network we talked about, knowing who you are, is important, because they don't check just the product, they check you too.
Right.
And to save 20 million, I can't even put that into words on this economy, what that does for a company. There's a couple things. You can either reinvest in your employees through training, making sure they know what they're doing, through actually giving them some incentive to want to work more jobs. It can give you back. Bottom line, if you're a publicly held company, you'll see that money back in your stock price, because now you're showing here your price per earning per share. And then the next you know, it just jumps automatically because you got the savings. If you're a CEO, if you're a CFO, you get to hang your hat on, hey, I just saved the money. They just saved the company $20 million for 10 years. You might have a picture put up in a hallway or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Of that nature, but it's amazing. But on top of that, the employee gets savings. So they get anywhere from $50 to $150 a paycheck based on their salary. So now we found a couple of examples where the employee was like, I don't want to really do this. I don't want to elect to participate. Then next week you call, how come my check is less? Well, your check is less because you said you didn't want to do the program.
Yeah.
But I don't use any of the program. But you don't want the money, more money in your check?
That's exactly right.
And they go, sign me back up for the program.
That's right. That's right. Every time.
So it's really good to understand, like I said before, our basis at anytime we can help people. So we're helping not only businesses, but we're helping individuals. And we're offering them a suite of services that they can use, that
Right.
the discounts of prescriptions. If you ever need to talk to somebody, there's somebody you can talk to. If instead of waiting at the hospital emergency room for 4 hours, you can make a phone call to prescribe you whatever drug you need, as long as it's not a life or death emergency.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what's got us so excited about it, because we're helping people save a lot of money, make a lot of money, and they can put it to good use.
That's right.
Hey, pardon this quick interruption, but it's a good one. You're listening to this ad right now, which means someone else could be listening to your ad in this exact spot. Go to nickhyder.com/contact-me or click the link in the show notes to get started. Let's put your brand in the spotlight right where it belongs.
For a company to save $20 million, all right, on payroll taxes, is that right? On payroll taxes. So the point I'm getting at here is companies as small as 20 full-time or part-time, I guess, even W-2.
Well, they have to qualify. Yeah, so I would say it can be part-time as long as they have enough income to qualify.
Enough income to qualify. So, but for easy math, we'll say 20, minimum of 20 W-2 employees, up to, how big is that company you just described a minute ago? 22,000 employees, right? So 20 employees to 22,000 employees, and anything in between.
Yeah. Our biggest one we're working on now is 175,000 that we're working with them now.
Okay.
And their savings is astronomical. It's like 150 million a year. So, that's what kind of got their attention at first. But then I like the fact that a lot of companies are like, well, do my employees have to pay the cost of this, as far as are they getting hurt?
Mm-hmm.
I like that. And I said, no, they'll actually do better off than they were before. And then they go,
yeah. That's almost like, I would have brought it to you if it did.
They're like, let me kick the tires on this. What else? What
do you know who you're talking to?
What's wrong? Right. I'm like, what's wrong with this program? Like, there's nothing wrong. It's new. It's structured properly. We set it up so that you can win at every angle. To the point, all the no's we thought we're going to get have been turned to, let me get this other guy on the phone. Hey, I want him to hear this too. That's right. So we're on, like I said, a bunch of companies past all the groups, and we have the last group, which is HR. Yeah. Yeah. Woo. HR, like, they're not thinking about the program so much. They're thinking of how much more work am I going to have to do.
That's exactly right.
Right. And we're like, we'll do it all. When you mean do it all, what do you mean? We'll do the compliance. We'll do the installment. We'll do the education. We'll do everything. You just have to make sure that, people are signed up. Right? But we'll even do that part. We'll let them know, here's what you're getting, and here's what it costs you, but here's what it doesn't cost you. Yeah. Right. It's like you're getting it for free, in essence.
So and I do know too, there was one of the companies thought they had seen it. They'd seen something similar, maybe.
Correct.
Walk me through that. So there's some lookalikes out there.
There's a lot of lookalikes. Okay. If anybody knows about flex spending accounts, right? So flex spending accounts is they're going to take out of your check every week, whether you ask them to or not. Okay. Right. And then they give you a card. Now, they used to make you pay it back and then get your reimbursement, but now they give you a card. But you still don't get your money back. You still have to use that card in order to get that savings. So, and if you don't use that card, they get to keep it. You get taxed on that money. So when I do people's taxes and I see FSA, when I first put the W-2 in, the number shoots up automatically. I had to go and tell the IRS that they did use that for medicine, so that number comes back off.
Got it.
This doesn't do that.
Okay.
There's no instance where it shows up where I have to tax it first and then get the money back. So a lot of people aren't used to seeing that. They're used to the old-fashioned FSA where you basically have to get this, or the employee could be jammed up with having to pay taxes. This isn't that program.
Got it.
So when they think they've seen it, they've seen the tax savings, but it's with the employee getting hurt. And that's why they came back like, well, will this hurt my employees? It will not.
Got it.
So we do it from the other side where it doesn't hurt the employees. So therefore, it's now, well, I'm going to win, they're going to win. And when I tell them the number they're saving, that's even after whatever fee they're going to pay. That's not, oh, and then we're going to take half. Yeah. No, that's after whatever fee you're going to pay. And they couldn't believe that. Like, we have 3 CEOs of a major business that have 110,000 people that are meeting for us to understand this is how we want to go. And all their employees are going to be offered this. And they're all high net worth individuals. So I think that in itself is how can you not win? How can you not want to take the win? Now, like you said before, if you don't like money, then that's fine. That's your business. But yeah. I think you should really want to get into a program where that could expand your horizons and create a budget gap for those who are like teachers, school, to have budgets. Oh, we can't do this. We don't have any budget. We got to let go of PE because we don't have any budget. The arts are cut. Now you have money back without even expanding your budget. So being able to create a new section, a new area of revenue without having to dip into anything that you're currently having, it's kind of carte blanche, it's kind of free will as far as the things that we didn't want to do. The teachers that got laid off now don't have to be laid off. Yep.
So anybody's that's got a minimum
20
of 20 W-2 employees, they need to be going to sgtaxpros.com right now, right? And because they need to be having a phone conversation.
Absolutely. I mean,
well, how long does that initial phone conversation take? Even
20 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
and most of it is this real?
Yes. So no way they can't. They're trying to poke holes in it.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So,
correct.
And that's the crazy thing is there just aren't any. It's what's the catch? Well, I get why you would ask that.
Correct.
I mean, I felt the same way when it was first shown to me. I probably just brushed it off 2 or 3 times. If
I
I'm
brushed it
being
off
honest.
for sure.
Yeah,
because your mind is not built up for winning. It's who's losing. Somebody's got to lose somewhere.
That's right.
So the fact that it doesn't lose, people, and again, when you talk about the business of enormous size placing their trust in you. If something happens, are they going to scramble? They're looking at everybody looks from a liability standpoint.
Right.
Like what could go wrong? What could cost us? What could happen? How far back could this set us? And when you got rid of those objectives and those negatives and those pushbacks, then you're able to get to, I think this could work.
Absolutely. Well, Pete, as we get to the end of this episode here, talk to me like, you are a rare breed. I mentioned the family. I take it back to the family, but you're a rare breed of, you have the right amount of care for the people and for the monetization.
Absolutely.
On the other side. Right. And it's that balance is a struggle. Okay.
It is.
You got to be grounded and very clear in what your mission is. You have to keep your mission in front of you at all times. If not, one of those things can tend to tip the scale.
Correct.
As they go. I just did the 6-7 thing.
The
6. See, Jensen knows. What's those?
But I think you hit on it though. You said that a short-term solution for a long-term problem. I think because if I find it and I can make $5 million, and then I got people suing me for $10 million and down the street, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
But if I do it in a way that's people can understand, it helps them.
Yeah, they're
going to want to do more instead of less. There's not going to be any kind of liability that's going to cause me to not be able to sleep at night or turn the corner like, I hope nobody sees me coming. Like who wants to live like that? So at the end of the day, all of our products are based on helping people. The last product we just talked about, that's based on not only helping companies, but helping people in a time where no one knows about any kind of cost that's about to hit us. They're talking about the housing market might correct itself.
Right.
If that happens, Jesus.
That's right. That's right.
So at the end of the day, how can I help you? What can I do for you? So my number one thing is what can I do for you?
What are you most excited about for 2026 in your line of work and what you do?
That's a great question.
And it could even be, man, we're expanding into this territory or bringing on this many people. It could be any direction you want.
I think it's a combination of things. I think it has to be with we're growing. And so a long time ago when I started, I was a solopreneur. And for those who don't know what that is, that means you run the business and the business runs off you. So what that means, if I went on vacation, there's no business, right? So the business dies. I think we're to the point of we have so many people involved in different areas. Now I need them to take ownership. I need them to run it as though this could affect them long-term, short-term as well. So that's exciting for us, along with the CCAC and all the different lines of business we're rolling out and making sure they're monetized. The funny part is we've never done any funnels where we're selling our products. And 2026 in the first year, we're actually going to do marketing where we're selling. So we've grown to where we are without on word of mouth only and through reputation. Imagine now what happens when we start telling strangers what we can do for them.
I know a guy that can help you with that.
I'm going to have to talk to him a little bit later. So yeah, absolutely.
Well, dude, it's, again, it's been a blast so far, reconnecting with the family, being able to work with you. I don't know, man, it's, for whatever reason, even working with those kids fresh out of college, those young adults fresh out of college who are bright as hell, by the way, like they're, man. But not, money's just kind of boring. It's something that I don't know. It's an interest that everybody should take have. But you got to find out I think that's why that Rich Dad Poor Dad worked for me, because it started out with him just telling stories about him and Mike and Mike's dad and you know, and it was stories about him as a kid and hustling comic books and
But
and all that
you
stuff.
can relate to even to your own home. I think I can relate to my daughter. I had her to tell me that when she went to school, here's what I want to major in. I'm like, look up the median income for that job. And she said, oh, the median income, Dad, is $32,000. I said, where are you going to live with? Where are you going to live in New York?
Yeah.
You're going to live with 4 strangers you don't know about. She said, but I had to love my job, Dad. I said, do you love heat? Do you enjoy lights?
Yeah, that's right.
Right? Because you'll find out that later on in life, that money is needed because you have to pay for bills. You have to, if you want to live in a certain area, if you want to do certain things, you're going to need a certain amount of it. You don't have to be ultimately rich, but you need a certain amount of income to afford your lifestyle. So I think you're right. There is a balance there as far as, you know, do I want to make 400 million or am I okay with making 100,000? And it really depends on what you want and where you want to live.
It took a wife and a son for me to want to care about it, because then all of a sudden they had needs
Correct.
that
looking at you provide.
that could not be met. And that is a harsh reality.
Yes,
when
it is.
when when your child needs something and you can't give him what you know he needs, and you have to settle for something less because of money.
Yep.
You know, so it's just it's heartbreaking at first, and then you get pissed, and then you do something about it. You know, that's kind of the way it was. And like, you know, at 16, my son is roughly going to cost me over that 12 months of him being 16 between 85 and 100 grand. That's his price tag
Easily
at my home. And we figured out that in this town in Nashville, Tennessee, at least, if you can make 20, 25 grand a month, you can pretty much make the decisions that you need to make. You know, you're not living in the biggest homes in the state or whatever, but you're living in the neighborhood, the county you want. You're probably sending your kids to school you want them to go to. You're not making subpar decisions based on lack of money.
Yeah, decisions are not money based. Correct.
Man, so it's it's, you know, at the end of the day, everybody needs a Pete in their life, don't they?
I think so. I think at some point,
because unless if they're interested in what they're interested in, if they do what you do, they should be working with you.
Correct.
But if they don't do what you do, then they need a Pete in your life, so that, you know, I'm the best at certain things that I do.
Correct.
And I can promise you I wasn't the best CFO or the best accountant or a lot of the things that I did back in the day, which, by the way, totally took me away from the magic that I made doing what I was actually put here to do.
That's actually one of my pitches when I talk to people. I'm like, imagine you spending time doing my job. That means you're taking time away from your job, which is creating revenue. So you know, at the end of the day, your time allocation is so important. So yeah,
man, it's I mean, I could keep here all day. I won't do that to you. I'm fascinated with this stuff. There's so much that I want to learn about it because of the results that and the outcomes that can come from it. So it's shallow. Money is often considered a shallow subject, and totally rightfully so it can be. But folks, I can promise you, life can be life's hard.
It is. It can be.
You know, and so I, you know, being successful and being broke, both of them are hard. I had to pick one. Right. I had to pick one.
Correct.
So, you know, at my house, we chose success, but we chose hard first for a long time and realized that wasn't what we actually wanted, you know? So, everybody's got a different need, a different want, and a different thing. And I would say find somebody like you to make sure that, once they figure it, one, you can help them figure out what that is, but then you can help them figure out how to get there.
And that's the biggest part.
And it's just a journey.
It is.
It's just a journey.
I mean, I think you see other people with it and you want it right now, but it doesn't work that way. Everybody's time is different based on what they're dealing with.
Well, Pete, I always like to give the guest a chance for any final thought, final note, or anything that you'd want to tell the audience out there.
I think if I had to have a final thought or a purpose, it'd be like, find out what you're trying to accomplish and then get somebody to help you accomplish that. I think you should make moves, not, oh, I did, or I was thinking about. You should have a plan for all sections of your life. What do you want to do? How do you want to do it? Maybe it is work for somebody. Everybody's not built to work on their own. But I think that part is super big as far as planning your life out, planning your goals out, planning your financial health out.
Yeah.
And once that's done, I think life looks a little different for you.
Man. And there's, especially when it comes to money, there's a word that we can't use in my house, which is that word is try. We don't try to do anything. Because what I figured out, everybody that's trying to do anything, they're not doing it.
Correct.
They're not doing it.
Well, most of the time because they're not doing it with somebody who's done it.
There you go.
Yeah, they're just trying to figure it out on their own.
That's right.
That's what happens.
That's right. Well, Pete, I'm a huge fan.
Thank you so much.
I'm grateful for the relationship.
Glad I get to get to be the first one in this office. I appreciate that.
This is cool, man. I'm telling you, this is a big deal. This is a big deal for us.
For us too.
So, I'm grateful for the relationship. I'm all the things, man. I look forward to. I enjoy getting up every day because I get to work with people like you, man. It's a lot of fun. So,
Finding the right health plan can feel overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Backed by over 12 years of experience and more than 20 national and local awards, Team Hyder is here to help you navigate your options and choose a plan that fits your family's needs and your budget. Visit teamhyder.com today to schedule your consultation and get the coverage that you deserve.
folks, Pete Bacote, once again, the founder of SG Tax Pros, the Sentarus Group, TSG Financial Services, and CCAC Group Incorporated. SGTaxPros.com is the easiest place to find him, and online on socials at SG_Tax Pros. Folks, thanks again for tuning in to another episode of The Hit Streak. I am your man, Nick Hyder. God bless.